Welcome to Kev's Travel Stories. Each week I'll be bringing you a story from the weird and wonderful world of travel, a world that can change the way you see life and love and even the way we find meaning. Places that are iconic and sometimes surprising and even terrifying. So sit back and enjoy while we go on a magical mystery tour together. Welcome to On the Road with Kev, and this episode is when things sometimes go wrong, just like in life. People get sick, people get sold a pup. In this case, I was sold a hotel that looked absolutely amazing in the brochure, but when we got there, it wasn't good. Firstly, let me set the scene. Unfortunately, I'd taken my first bout of food poisoning. I had ordered some food, I brought it back to the hotel. Even as I bit into it, I knew that there was something fishy, literally, about this fish seafood salad. Because I was rushing to get the plane, I went ahead. Sometimes I confuse bad tastes with strong spices that you can get in the Orient, but I was wrong. And I sort of knew as I took a third or fourth swallow, this wasn't a good idea. So, fast forward 2 hours, I'm sitting on a flight from Bangkok to Udon Thani. I am suddenly getting this very, very bad feeling in the pit of my stomach, literally. I try to take a few deep breaths, but there's no holding this back. I have to ungainfully jump over the lady, rush down the small jet, fling open the door. Thank God one of the toilet doors was open and was free. I'd hate to think, well, I know exactly what would have happened, because as I put my head into the toilet, out it all came in one long rush. I will spare you the bitter details, but I was down on the floor for 3 or 4 minutes, and I got rid of that horrible meal. The taste remained with me for another 24 hours. But I have to tell you, the Viet Asia airline people, they came straight along with a bottle of water. They had 4 charcoal tablets. They said this will take away the poison. They obviously have seen this happen before. There was a bit of a mess in the loo. I tried to clean it up. They said, let's go and take a seat. We're about to land. It's a very short flight. So I obviously wasn't in great form when I arrived. My traveling companion, Cara, she was helpful. We got into a taxi and drove us to the hotel. I was looking forward to really just getting, when you're feeling sick, you just want to get into a nice bed and just turn off the lights and recover. And I knew that that's all I needed, because I'd sort of got rid of all the bad stuff. Anyway, the hotel had been booked by a friend who said this was a great hotel. She'd sent us pictures. The pictures were stunning. Beautiful lobby, wonderful rooms, fantastic facilities. Nothing, dear reader, could be further from the truth. It was down a dark alley, not in the best part of Udon Thani. There was a weirdness getting out of the cab, and immediately, just as I'd felt on the plane an hour before when I knew I was going to get sick, I knew this was not going to work out. But it was now very late. It was 10:30, 11:15. I was sick, sort of had a bit of a fever, was shaking. We were brought into the lobby. We were given a key, and I stepped into the lift, and there I knew my fears were not unfounded. There was cracks, there was dirt on the floor, the lift door was held together by bits of sort of gaffer tape. We creaked, got out. Along we trudged with the guy who was the night manager. He opened the door, we went into this stuffy little room, and there was the smell of cigarette smoke. Now, imagine the scene. It's late, you've travelled, you've just vomited violently, and you're in dire need of rest. The only thing that could probably stop you resting is the smell of cigarettes. So I immediately knew this was not going to work. So what do you do when you arrive in a hotel from hell, particularly when you're in a vulnerable position in the state of health and welfare? I just acted instinctively. I rang my friend who'd booked it. I said, this is completely unacceptable. I took some photos of the dirt of the place. Manager was called back up. He tried to explain. We said, no, this is just not on. There's always that little bit of difficulty getting across your point. But eventually I just put my foot down and said, no, I'm not staying here, not in this room. So there was a bit of negotiation. We were taken downstairs to the lobby. My friend said she tried to organize another hotel. By now it's 11:30. This is going to be tedious. I'm starting to sweat and shake with the post effects of the illness. And it seemed that they were going to now, after many apologies, going to offer us another room. As I looked around the lobby, the dirt of the sofa, the dirt on the floor, just the miskeptness of the place didn't fill me with alarm. But I also knew that I had to rest. We were taken upstairs again and shown absolutely improved room with no smell of smoke. At this stage, would have probably laid down on the floor and slept. Such was the physical state. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I slept like a log, got up the next day. We complained, we got the complaint registered, and we were moved to a different hotel, a really beautiful hotel actually, right in the centre of Udon. And a report was sent to the relevant tourist authorities that this was a scam, that this hotel did not in any way represent what it is shown in its brochure, and I will be following that up. So what did I learn from that experience? Well, I learned that things go wrong. It sounds great traveling around the world, and it sounds great being, a podcaster and getting these wonderful opportunities. And they are wonderful opportunities, but life interferes, as they say. And you know what happens. And you just have to go with the flow and take the punches. I'm glad and would very strongly recommend that when you do get served something that is not what the advertising represents, that you very strongly complain and demand to be moved, which we did. And because I didn't book it, I hadn't read the reviews, and my friend who did book it was full of apologies, said it would never happen again. And, I think she did it in good faith. But that was the episode that really sort of shook me to the core. And now, 24 hours later, I can eat, I can have a glass of water, and I'm feeling reasonably human again. But just beware. Whenever you're booking a hotel, don't just rely on the pictures. Go and check out the reviews, then double check the reviews, then go to another site and check the reviews, because it's no fun ending up in what, at that particular moment in time, in my particular state of health, was a hotel from hell.